Hello guys, welcome to India. So we are going to start the polity. That is first topic, historical background. In this, we will cover we will divide it into two part. Like part one, we will cover half topic, and in later one we will cover the second part of this topic. So first, Britishers were came to India, but with time they colonized India and started the trading. So they want to legalize their trading. For that, Queen Elizabeth first she gave the charter. So their trading with India was legalized. So on the basis of this, Indian like whatever the administration it was started. It was started from 1773 to up to 1947. Still India got independence. So that administration was divided into two parts, mainly 1773 to 1858, means like after the 1857 revolt, that is called as a company rule, and after the 1858 to 1947 it is called as a crown rule. So first we will see the 1773 regulating act. So what this act did, the first time it is recognized the political and administrative function of the company. So before that it was not like recognize all this, but this is first time they recognize. Then governor of Bengal become the governor general of the Bengal, and Lord Warren Hastings he became the first Governor General of Bengal, and he was also assisted by the Executive Council of four. Remember that Governor General of Bengal, he became the Governor General of Bengal, and he was assisted with the four legislative. He was assisted by the four Executive Council to give him guidance or whatever the decision, advise him in decision making. So with this government of Bengal become the Governor General of Bengal, and the governors of the Bombay and Madras presidency they were become the subordinate, because they remain just governor, while the Governor of Bengal become the Governor General of the Bengal. And in 1774 under this that regulating act only they established the Supreme Court. They also prohibited the private trade and accepting the gift and trades, because before what used to happen, there was lot of corruption. So to control this, they brought the special provision to prohibit the trade with the private, also accepting the gift and all this. They also strengthened the control of British government, as they brought the new court of director. Remember court of director, these were like commercial body to administer the all that revenue matters, all these civil military all the affairs now commercial or and political body. She used to inform the British government at their home whatever happening in India. So this was all under the regulating act 1773. So after that amendment was brought to this act in 1781, and that called as a act of settlement. This can be the MCQ. Remember whatever the amendment to regulating act 1773 was brought in 1781, that was called as a act of settlement. So there were two provision mainly. So there in first there was exemption given, and in second there was provision for whatever the appeal. So in first exemption in exemption that Supreme Court jurisdiction, with Supreme Court Governor General or whatever the servants of company or whatever the matters arising from revenue matters or any dispute, now all these excluded from the jurisdiction of Supreme Court. So they were not under the jurisdiction of Supreme Court. And also appeals from the provincial court lies at the Governor General Council, not the Supreme Court. This made under the amendment of the 1781. Then 1784, it is called also Pitt's India Act. So what this act, this is important because they first time distinguished the commercial and political function of the company. Remember commercial and political function of the company were distinguished. Earlier they were the same, and they brought the concept of the double government, that is court of director and board of control. So court of director they were performing the ground level duty, while the board of control they were at the political level, at the upper level they were sitting in the England. And first time the company's territory in India also called as a British possessions. So with this act, British control over the company affair and administrator become the strengthened. Then Charter Act 1792. With this beginning of the charter series become charters. With this act there were few provisions, like they extended the overriding power of the Lord Cornwallis over the like I told you earlier, there was Governor General and he was assisted by the four people. So what used to happen, the four people used to sometimes oppose the governor general, so it was affecting its functioning, all this. So with consent of that Lord Cornwallis, they brought the Charter Act 1793. So Cornwallis or the governor general now can uh, like he can also override the whatever the decision given by these four people. Then also extended the trade monopoly of the company again 20 years. And the board of director or the board of control, they had established na, they were earlier paid from their charges because they were sitting on the UK or that is England, but now they were paid from the Indian charges, that is called as a home charges. This was later on highlighted by the Dadabhai Nauroji as a lacuna. Then there is Charter Act 1813. So Charter Act 1813, it abolished the trade monopoly and except but a tea and trade with China was kept as it is. So why 1813? Before that there was like trade, it was a monopoly of Britishers. But what happened in 1813? So what happened in, there was industrial relations going on everywhere in UK, means like Europe. So they wanted extra market, but Britisher had the whole monopoly over the India, or they were not allowing for the other traders. So British government, that home is like UK, there were so many merchants and all this, they were pressurizing British government to open India for them also. So with this trade monopoly, the Britishers were abolished. So other investors from British can invest in India, or Indian market can be open for them. But only tea and trade with China was still with the Britishers. They also allowed the Christian missionary to come India because to spread their religion, all this. They also provide the spread of education. Means whole idea was to like Western education, Christian missionary, or the abolition of trade monopoly was to open the Indian market for them, like that only. Then authorize the local government to even impose the taxes on the person, also can punish for not paying taxes, also was their provision. Then Charter Act 1833, it is also called as a act of centralization, or it was the highest step towards the centralization. So I will explain you what happened now. Governor General now of Bengal, he became the Governor General of the India, and Lord William Bentinck the first governor. With this they also took away the legislative power at the Bombay and also Madras. So he became the supreme power, so that is called as centralization, more centralization of power with the Governor General of India become. Also the first time they extended government of India authority all over the territory. Also they deprived the power of legislature, I told you. Then before coming of this act, the Charter Act, there used to be whatever the act, they used to be called as regulation, but after that they used to call them as a proper act. Then they also ended the commercial activities of East India. Now earlier in 1830 act there were like tea and other like trade with China was allowed, but now what happened, the monopoly of the British with these two atom also is abolished, monopoly of the East India Company. So it become totally administrative body. Earlier it was commercial, now it is become just administrative body. Then also Charter Act 1833 also attempted to brought the civil services, but it could not happen because the opposition from the Court of Directors. Then Charter Act 1853. This was like I had told you that charter series started 1793, and this was in last in the series of the charter, the 1853. So I will explain here first concept that there was a governor general. Remember, he was assisted by the few people. So this pure four people like executive council, means there was like just executive one body. But the first time now in 1853 they separated that executive function and legislative function of the governor. So it is also known as later on the central legislative body or central legislative council, also executive and legislative function. So with this first time separate the legislative and executive functions of the governor. Then provided new members to legislative council, that it established the separate legislative council, also called as it is also mini parliament. Then civil services, it was earlier attempted to open. Here I told you that they were just attempted, but here they really in true spirit they opened civil services for the India, and 1854 Macaulay committee was appointed, so Indian civil services will be get appointed. Also the first time they whatever the local representation it was started in central, So I told you this is mini parliament or central legislative council. So few people from Bengal, Madras, Bombay, they were, sorry, Bengal, Madras, Bombay, they were getting appointed here. This is called as indirect representation started there. Then up to this 1773 to 1858, this was like company rule. Now, or East India Company rule. Now they started the Crown's rule with the 1858 to 1947. So what happened in 1857? There was a revolt. So much up that it is blood, full of blood revolt. So Britishers realized that they want to change the administration in India. So they brought this special act, that Government of India Act 1858. So with this act, Governor General became the Viceroy for the India, and he was assisted by the 15 people to whatever the, like, sorry, he became the Viceroy of the India, and it also abolished the Board of Director and Board of Control. That's double system established for the India. Then now Viceroy for India and for British, that UK or England, there was like someone should be the to guide for them. So they bring the new post, that is Secretary of the State, and he was guided by the 15 people. Earlier there was a court of, sorry, Board of Control, but it was abolished here. We saw Board of Control, that was abolished. So they brought the special post, that is Secretary of the State. Then again second started later on, that Indian Council Act 1861. So this was become the beginning of the representative institution associating Indians with the lawmaking process. And thus, the 1862 Lord Canning nominated few people. I told you, like, there was Governor General, and he was like executive body and legislative body. So this legislative body, na, the Governor General started appointing few people. So these three guys were appointed: Raja of Benares, Maharaja of Patiala, and Sir Dinkar Rao. These guys were appointed. They were just representative of Britishers, because they were not like truly have any like affection for Indians or Indian cause or nothing, but they were just more like close to the Britishers. They also initiated the process of decentralization. I told you, like 1833 there was full of centralization. Even legislative power of Bengal, legislative power Bombay and Madras were taken, but now they started restoring their legislative power. They also established a new legislative council for the Bengal, Northwest provinces and Punjab. They also empowered the Viceroy to transact, that convenient, or making rules for convenient transaction. Then also recognize the portfolio system that was established by the Lord Canning in 1859. Now Viceroy also can bring the ordinance. So with this act, that Indian Council Act 1861 started. Remember here, I will tell you that these few people, na, they were just listening people. They can't ask question or anything. They were just listening in the Legislative Council. But later on, what happened, na, in Indian Council Act 1892, before that 1885 there was establishment of Congress. So Congress were demanding so much, like expansion of councils, many more rights, like ask any question or all this. So with this Indian Council Act 1892 established, so they try to accommodate the few demands of the Congress. So first one, like number of non-official members, na, they were increasing both legislative and that central legislative council and provincial legislative council, but still they maintain the official majority, means like Britishers were themselves in majority. They also increase the function here, that legislative council. I told you, like three guys they were appointed, but they could not ask questions or all this, na? But now what happened, their power was increased. Now they can discuss the budgets. Now they can also ask the question to the executive. Still remember here one important that can be the, but they were, that can be asked in UPSC, they can't ask the supplementary question, they ask just questions. So that was again Indian Council Act 1909, that was again the widened the power. Though this act, that Indian Council Act 1892, that act also made limited but the indirect provision for the use of election for filing up some of the non-official seats, but the word election was not, however, mentioned. This can be the MCQ. Remember, though there was indirect provision for the election, but the word election as such was not mentioned. Then Indian Council Act 1909. This is very important. Here, this I told you, the Central Legislative Council was there. There was demand for increasing. So they again increased its strength from 16 to 60. In provincial legislative council, strength was increased, but it was not uniform. Then this is first time the official majority in central legislative council was there, but in non-official majority was brought in provinces. Then functions of central legislative council, now they can ask supplementary question, also move resolutions, and they also introduced the separate electorate, that is the act legalized the communalism. So the Lord Mintona, he called as a father of communal electorate. Then separate electorate also formed for the few people like presidency, corporations, chamber of commerce also given, for universities, and zamindars also were given. Then I will explain you very important, like here they have given, like remember there was like viceroy for India, or that governor general of India, that is same. He was assisted by the two few people. So in I told you like 1853 Act, the first time 53 his function were separated, that executive function and legislative function. So in legislative function they were appointing few people. So three guys were appointed. I will show you people that 1853. Representative Act. There's three established new legislative council, and this three people were appointed in legislative council. So these people were there, but after the in 1861 Act, that representation in legislative body was started, but executive there was no way, Indians. But this is the first time. Remember, this can be the MCQ. First time executive council of Viceroy also got the Indian as a representative, and this guy S.P. Sinha, he was the first Indian to appointed in this body. So with this, Indians were started getting appointed in legislative, also executive also. Remember, this can be the MCQ. In executive council, Indians got chance to be appointed in 1909, and in legislative it was like 1861. Remember, these both are very important MCQs. Then, so with this we have finished the first part. Remaining part we will cover the tomorrow. So please subscribe to our channel, stay with us, like, share. Thank you so much.